I was recording a video on YouTube, and while I was talking, I could hear in the background an inner commentary from that inner critic, inner perfectionist, the one that says, it's never enough, I'm never enough, telling me, hey, just stop because you're rambling. This is too chaotic. There's not enough value. There's not enough structure. You're all over the place. What you're saying isn't this enough and that enough. Just re record or change topic altogether. And I'm so proud because two reasons. One, when I started this journey to post on YouTube, first and foremost, it was for myself because I felt I was holding myself back in the way I want to show up in my business and online and on social media. I knew I was playing smaller than I wanted to be. I knew I still was harboring the fear of being seen, of being judged, of being criticized. So I wanted to strip all of that with kindness, with love, but goodbye. It's time to up level over here. And second, this journey worked because I caught real time the inner commentary, resisted the urge to press stop and re record and just disregard what I produced. And even the need to to make every video perfect. Well, and just scratch that. Perfect does not exist. That video was perfect for that moment and what I wanted to record and what I was going, what I was at in that moment. This was half an hour ago. So this is for you if I'm speaking to all of you who feel like you know you can do better. You're highly capable. You're detail oriented. I know you. You're me. You're me. And we collectively need to let go of that urge to try to control and perfect everything. Because that's how you can free yourself and actually create the life of freedom and fulfillment that you're here for. The joy, the ease you're after, it comes once you do that scary thing. Sometimes the scary thing we think we need to do, it's not that, it's deeper. And often it's just letting yourself show up imperfectly. Oh, again, see, scratch that. Show up in the ways you've deemed or you've conditioned to think are imperfect or not enough. I actually want to remove that from my own language. Perfect, imperfect. There are many things I've removed from my language that are scarcity coded. This could be a whole new video, to be honest, but we're just going to talk about it in here. Words, expressions, I've talked about this already. Like, I removed the expression, I don't have time. And there's never enough time. And there are not enough hours in one day. All of those things, I don't say those things anymore because they just reinforce scarcity mindset, scarcity thinking. There's never enough. I actually, since I've stopped constantly feeling behind, chasing like the ideal of getting things perfectly right and not wasting time because I was operating from that scarcity of I'm behind, I need to catch up. I wasted all of those years working in corporate, and now that I'm starting my own business in my late 30s, I'm 40 now, I need to make up for lost time, quote unquote, because that wasn't lost. I needed to go through that. That's why I have zero regrets. but the pattern, the conditioning is still there. So removing certain words and expression from your language can help you reshape your internal and external reality. I've stopped chasing time. I stopped worrying about not having enough time. And guess what? I managed to do even more things during one day because I'm not constantly rushing. The more I rushed, the more scarce time felt. The more I rushed, the more I was late to meetings, to coffee with friends, to appointments. The more I rushed, the less time I felt I had available to me. It's crazy, but we shape our own experience. What you tell yourself, it's going to be right. You're going to find proof that what you tell yourself, evidence is right. So pay attention to the things you say internally and out loud. Other words I don't use, when out of compassion, people say, oh, poor thing, or oh, poor you, or this is probably unrelated, but this is something I've completely removed. When something happens and people say, I don't think I've ever said that. But when I know this, I'm like, I would never use that, incorporate that in my vocabulary. Oh, that must be so hard. How do you know? What do you know about the other person's experience? I would never project that. Of course, we all project because we're humans, but not in that way, with that expression onto someone, what I think must be hard for them, because maybe it's not hard for them. And most of all, I have no, it's not my place to name what they're going through and how they're feeling. And even if it is hard, to add to that, probably just a digression, but as we're speaking about what you, the language, the words you use internally and externally, and how that those shape your experience, look at everything. Go through every area of your life. And specifically speaking about scarcity-coded mindset, scarcity mindset coming from lack, those are very subtle to spot. It's very subtle. And I made a pact with myself to be very aware and intentional about how I talk to myself, how I talk to others, and at spotting all the ways I'm implying lack and rewiring that with love. Again, awareness. Okay, I caught that. I realized that with so much love, we're not saying that anymore. We're not allowing that into this space and this space and the life I'm creating. Because I don't want to come from lack. I don't want to carry the belief that I'm not enough, that I'm behind, that I need to perfect that video, that thing, myself, how I talk, how I show up even more. I'm actually going to remove perfection from my own vocabulary as much as possible. I have redefined what that means internally. Perfect for me is exactly this moment. It's perfect as it is. It's neutral. I've removed the quality of better from the word, but because it's so historically layered and it carries weight, because we immediately think at the best thing, the best expression of the thing when we say, oh, the person or whatever, when we say perfect, I actually want to start using that less and less. Even if I've internally reframed it, I know that when I'm recording a video and I use that word, it might not mean the same to everybody. And when I talk about the perfect moment, I don't want someone watching to believe that it requires a specific ingredient or that every moment isn't perfect or every iteration of your business isn't perfect or every version of you isn't perfect, because it is. I chose a long time ago that every experience we have, we go through, they carry different flavors, they generate different feelings and sensations. Some are pleasant, some are not pleasant, less pleasant, and yet they're all experiences. There is no wrong or bad, it's an experience. There's no wrong or bad, there's no perfect or imperfect, there's what it is. The moment, this moment, it is what it is. The video I recorded earlier, earlier, it is what it is. It was perfect in that moment. Can we evaluate, like compared to previous videos? Or if I hit record again and I structured more, we could do that, but that's not the point, and that's also not the way I want to show up. I want to, it's not the standard, the expectation, even the metric. I want to measure my progress, my growth, my life. I've talked about this before. My metric is how I feel in my body. Do I feel expansive? Are my shoulders soft? Do I feel rushed? Is my heart rate speeding up because I feel I need to chase? I don't have enough time. I haven't done enough today. I haven't been productive enough. How I feel in here and the communication with myself, the things I tell myself, the things I tell others, how I speak to others, how I speak to myself. How does it feel? That's my metric. And I shared this morning on Threads. I shared about the fact that this is video 91, I think I'm recording for YouTube. And I can't believe the 100-day video journey is almost over. And also that I waited 4 years before starting YouTube, even if I knew I wanted to, only to realize that I love recording videos. I really enjoy the process, you guys. And I found a way to make it enjoyable for myself. No edits, no wasting hours. For me, it's wasting. I would never spend that many hours over editing and over producing. It's not the kind of content I want to create. I always say I want to create videos where I feel, and I hope you feel like we're having a chat over coffee, and maybe walk away with an insight, something that sparked something for you, a reflection. And that's what I'm shooting for. So I made some rules for myself how this process was going to go. And I end up enjoying the process so much. And it gave me back so much. I could be looking at the metrics, at the numbers, and be frustrated, be complaining about the fact that YouTube has just doubled its requirements for monetization. But I'm actually just very grateful to be here, to have the privilege to be here, to be recording these videos, to have discovered so much about myself, who I'm here to support, my message in a moment where I felt stuck creatively. I felt stalling in my own business. I felt like I was playing small. I felt like I was not giving myself full permission to be myself and do things my own way. just stop listening to advice and just follow my own internal compass and advice. This process gave me back so much I could have never imagined. So that's how I choose to relate to this, the beauty, the abundance. And that's also now that I've proved that I can record daily videos for YouTube. And of course, we're gonna, you guys, I'm announcing this. Now it's official. We're gonna go for the next 100 days. I'm gonna keep going, posting daily for another. Of course, I haven't reached the 100-day mark yet. That will be September 1st. It will be my 100th video. And I'm gonna go for another 100 days of posting every day. That's official. I'm excited about it. And now that I proved to myself that I can do it without burning out, without hating the whole process, but actually falling in love with it and with who I'm becoming in the process of showing up every day, how much I've unmasked, I've freed myself from, and without running out of ideas and things to talk about, I've discovered there's an abundance of that. I've decided I will go back to Instagram at the point where I left the platform back in April, I think, my last post to date, because I was hating, kind of always lately love-hate relationship with Instagram. But the moment I started feeling stuck and it felt too constraining, limiting, I knew I needed a break. That's where I hopped on Threads and found my creative juices flowing again, my creative voice tapped back into my most raw expression. Instagram started to feel I needed to be too polished. Of course, that was just a rule I set for myself. The platform, you can do whatever you want, right? But that was how I was approaching it, and I was hating the process, how I was showing up, all of it. And I knew I had to step back. And YouTube and Threads brought this fresh new energy, this fresh new discovery of how I get to show up, and that the fact that I get to set the rules of how I do this thing. Sometimes you do need the reminder, and stepping back and giving yourself space gives you perspective to come back. And this is what I'm prioritizing. This is what I've been prioritizing on YouTube, and what I will prioritize once I go back, probably starting from September, going on a holiday break in a few days, but soon, which is creativity, ease, joy, and excitement first. And in the spirit of prioritizing, using that, how I feel, and the ability to tap and access more of those feelings, sensations, state of beings in my own experience. And I know that when I'm able to tap into that internally, I create more of that externally. The external reality will reflect that. I feel so much more excited to go back. I feel just freer, much freer. That's the that's the metric. That's the only metric I'm going to track. I'm going to care about, because I know that's going to generate on the outside the exact thing I am here to build in this season of my life, which is more freedom, more fulfillment, and more options coming from how I've been restructuring my business and how I show up in my business. For example, YouTube monetization, of course, yes, it will be great, but it's not my main objective, my main goal. It's actually YouTube. I wanted a platform where I get to show up without self editing too much, without, it's just like we're having a call, as I said, a chat over coffee. And for those who resonate, who want to work with me, for those who want to engage with my content, step into the space, you will self-select. You will know if this is for you. You will know, but you get to experience the freer, fuller, most authentic version of who I am and what I'm here to offer. And if this is for you, if this is helpful, if this is a reflection of what you're tapping into in the season of your life. That feels like my ideal concept of business model, of just business strategy. I show up exactly as I am. That's how I've reshaped the whole situation. So YouTube is like my main hub. And then Threads, there's the more chill daily snippets of conversations and reflections and thoughts in the moment that I get to type in and share. There's a beautiful community growing over there. And Instagram, I I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't want, again, try to control what's going to be like. I'm here to explore, experiment, tap into those feeling, creativity, ease, excitement. What was the other one I said? Joy. And trust that it's going to create more of that on the outside, and just be excited about what's going to be unfolding from there. I'm actually excited to go back and to create. And that's what I'm following. That's also the compass I'm following. Not because someone tells me you got to have Instagram. You can't not have Instagram. Who said that? In the past, I would have listened. Today, I'm like, I choose. I let my body choose. Do I feel excited to go back? Yes. All right. Then maybe it's time. Then it's time. Let me know what landed for you, what resonated for you. I know we touched upon different topics, but this is actually what I've been navigating internally. The reason I started this challenge, I finally started recording and starting my own YouTube channel, why I'm here, what I'm here to create more of. And if this resonates, subscribe, come along for the journey. I'll see you tomorrow.